If it has a score, we cover it more. From football to lacrosse, hockey to baseball, we've got what you want. Welcome to the Rod Pedersen Show.
Hey, good morning, Canada. Cold enough for you? Welcome to the Rod Pedersen Show, program that we've affectionately called a Football Friday here on the program. I am the host, Rod Pedersen. No co-host. At least not Darren DuPont. We'll have co-host today, but not Darren DuPont. Dupes is in Saskatoon for very important meetings. And Darren, you'll be happy to know that without you, everything's gone to hell. No, that's not true. It's just, we like routine around here, and we're not in our routine. But we got John Frenzy in the bunker today, Hall of Fame Rough Riders broadcaster. How are you, Frenzy?
I'm doing great, Rod.
The Don Cherry of football. And I've given you a brand new Rod Pedersen Show golf shirt, and you've already got muffin crumbs all over it.
My wife was giving me particularly hell about the length of my shirt and how I can't go on the air anymore because I've got to watch what I show. And lo and behold, this is the big guy up there is out there, eh? Because what does he give me walking into the studio? This beautiful new shirt.
Yeah, then it covers your butt, and your wife was upset.
It covers my butt, yes.
Yes, so there you go. And we've got our sales manager, Tyler Gross, in the bunker. How you doing, Tyler?
I'm wonderful. Thanks for having me.
Is his mic on? Can we turn his mic on? Told you, everything's going to hell. We got some sales things to discuss today or to announce, and also we're going to ride your ass on the Patriots being out of the playoffs for the earliest time in 10 years. It's a Football Friday, so look, I see your comments coming in. I see former WHL players writing in, wanting our thoughts on, say, the Moose Jaw Warriors fire sale yesterday, getting rid of their big guns. Guys, that's so 24 hours ago. So just hold on. You need to listen to the Magnificent Seven show topics on the program today. It'll all tie in. 1, Riders losing Derek Moncrief, star linebacker yesterday, free agency. He's now with the Las Vegas Raiders. It's no longer the Oakland Raiders. It's the Vegas Raiders. How do we feel about that? Well, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers lose Willie Jefferson. This is all part of topic 1. It all ties into the CFL potentially losing some of its biggest stars on short contracts. To point 2, will the Raiders affect the Golden Knights in the Las Vegas sports market? All of my Golden Knights friends, of which there are many, say no, it won't. They say it won't. Say it's a different demographic, different fan base. I say, how would you know? I mean, what are they going to say? But I want to talk about that. Yesterday, we got off the air at noon. Everywhere I went around this town, people were complaining, too much hockey, too much hockey. And I'll be honest, I walked into the armories, with the Canadian Armed Forces guys. First thing they said was bitching about too much hockey. I said, stop it! It's 50-50 in this market, and we got to sprinkle in curling and lacrosse too, and the rush. So it's not going to be football all the time, although that would be the easiest thing for me to do. But there are hockey fans here too, and they deserve their coverage. Now, point 4, David Benefield, Mr. Furious, going on Facebook last night or yesterday, bemoaning the lack of CFL coverage in the Vancouver area vis-a-vis other major CFL markets. And people are writing in saying, hey, David, Rod's got a great show. It's live every day on Facebook. Benefield said, Rod gets it, but the rest of these guys are so far behind. I just think I'm a proponent of taking care of your own house. Mother Teresa said it right. You want to change the world? Start with your own house. So we're going to cover CFL here. We're just going to worry about it ourselves and hope that the rest of the media across the land joins in, because I know there's a huge starved market for CFL coverage in Canada. But as far as the WHL goes, which basically we did 2 hours of a junior hockey show yesterday, the day before the trade deadline, the WHL's been neglected far longer than the CFL has. This is new for the CFL. The teams are just now feeling the pinch of the lack of coverage. It's been going on for over a decade in the dub. So we've got 2 aggrieved, underserved markets in Canada that will serve, but we can't pick just one. Point 5, people were asking earlier this week, if we could discuss the XFL rules. The league kicks off in a month, don't you know? Yeah. And I went in and wrote some of the key rules down. I do want to talk about that today, whether or not you're in favor of them. Topic 6, the new CBA in the CFL. I know people want to get into that. The diehards are really into that. And the provisions that are made. It would be nice if a statement came out from the CFL with highlights of the CBA. And if there was one come out, I missed it. But it's been confusing for a lot of people, Lynch. Would you agree?
Oh, no doubt about it.
Confusing. Is the Canadian quarterback now going to count towards what's the 10 starters? Because it hadn't before for the 7. There's a debate going back and forth on Twitter between a fan, myself, and the TSN 1150 Hamilton crew this morning. Don't really know. And then number 7, is there a 2020 Grey Cup favorite as we sit here today? We're into 2020. We're 10 days in. I think we could talk about now who's the Grey Cup favorite. So we invite from the WHL Pats podcast. He says, it's hockey season, CFL's for the summer. Boys, there's the door. See ya. See you next week. I'll do the talking. You do the watching. How many times do I have to say it?
Many times.
Football Fridays. If you don't like it, scram. From Jason Michael writes in, he says, what do you have to do to score one of those bunny hugs? The Rod Pedersen Show bunny hugs. Well, let's bring in our sales manager, Tyler Gross, who just happens to be wearing a plaid Original 16 shirt. That was a gift from our friends at Great Western.
Thanks, Scott.
What do they need to do to get one of those bunny hugs?
RodPetersonShop.com. We've got a ton of new merch on there, including golf shirts, T-shirts, which I'm actually wearing one underneath.
Nice.
Right? The crumb-resistant golf shirts. All of this stuff was provided by TG Marketing, so special shout-out to Sean McNall and his team over there. They do amazing work. So
yeah, no kidding. I need to jump in. Clark says the guys for the Pats podcast were agreeing with me about the hockey cover. I'm sorry. It's just everywhere I go. I'm punchy. Everybody's in my face wanting to fight. So I apologize to the guys for the Pats podcast, and I know those guys. But can we talk a little hockey in hockey season in Canada, please? I understand it's Saskatchewan, but come on. Plus, we're a national show. That's very clear. So we'll get all these topics, and I've even mentioned who the guests are today. Duron Carter, D.C., going to join us from South Florida. Always enjoy our visits with Duron. Don Jackson of the Calgary Stampeders. T.J. Heath led the CFL in picks just a couple of years ago. T.J. Heath's going to be with us. And Mitch Picton. From the Saskatchewan Roughriders of the legendary Picton family. I know what's missing, why everything went to hell. We didn't have our pre-meeting. Everybody was running around here 1,000,000 miles an hour in a million different directions. We didn't sit down and talk about this stuff.
Things don't go well when DuPont's not here.
Uh-oh.
What did he say?
He said, don't admit things don't go well when DuPont's not
Our
here.
technical producer, Ryan, sitting on the couch, and he is bashing DuPont. Well, he needs it. He needs it. DuPont needs it. Jason writes in, he says, this is an international show. Jason, can you tell us where you're watching from? Because I believe he wrote in earlier and said he's watching from Kentucky. Home of Muhammad Ali. And Robin in Prince Albert writes in and he says, no, Roddy, it's not a national show. It's an international show with your viewers from Norway. LOL. 19 viewers every day from the country of Norway. And actually, we've got some big... DuPont's in Saskatoon. He's doing business in Saskatoon. We've got some very big announcements coming from Saskatoon. And...
Why don't you ring the bell on that one?
Okay, everybody, you could see I just blanked. My mind's all over.
Amazing news.
I think amazing news coming out of Saskatoon, but we're not quite ready to announce it yet. But Regina, you got to get with it, man. Wakey. If you went and looked at all of our sponsors, the majority are from Saskatoon. Lynch went to the U of S. I lived there. Saskatoon is a living, breathing monster. It's getting bigger. It is very tech savvy, very forward thinking. Regina's not quite that.
We're getting there. We're getting there.
We've been getting there. What did you say? The Newfoundland of the West?
Newfoundland of the West.
And you're a maritimer by trade, so
300,000 people live in Saskatoon.
That is a term of endearment.
it's just I was on the phone all night with business people from Saskatoon. I'm like, Regina, can we get with it? They love us in Saskatoon, and we love them.
We do.
And so you have some things you'd like to announce?
I got a few things, yeah. So first of all, we have a new sponsor out of Saskatoon, Rockstar Supply Chain Solutions. Darnell and Roxanne up there.
Woohoo! Sponsor belt.
They're going to sponsor our Saskatchewan Rush segment for the remainder of Rush season. And
nice.
Then once CFL starts, we're going to have a CFL feature that they've sponsored as well. So very excited to have those guys on board. And then I also wanted to give a special thank you to Last Mountain Distillery, and I haven't.
Another one. But they're not Saskatoon. They're down here, right?
They're in Lumsden, yeah. It's
Right.
like 15 minutes outside the city, but honestly, well worth the drive. They've got a beautiful facility out there, and they've actually just launched this new local vodka. It's a vodka that is to appeal to people on more of the economy side of things. Last Mountain Distillery is very much a premium brand in the market, and so they wanted something that was a bit more economical. So local vodka. It's great with mixed drinks. It's a neutral grain spirit that is made in the same facility as all the other Last Mountain Distillery beverages. So
I'll take your word for it.
Yep. Drink responsibly.
How good it is.
Drink responsibly. But honestly, those guys helped us out for our Christmas party. So I wanted to give a special thank you to Colin and his team out there. They've been a great partner. So thank you very much.
All right. And thank you, Tyler. Our viewership's going up and up and up. This is the Rollout for Flooring Superstore, by the way, where we roll out the show. For all the people that just tuned in, Deron Carter will be on the show today, Mitch Picton, Don Jackson, and TJ Heath. Wayne Grollo writing in from Victoria, BC this morning. He's got a couple of questions. He says, is Dupes stranded in Saskatoon? No, he drove up there for meetings. Very important meetings in Saskatoon today. We don't miss these shows unless they're very important reasons why, and that's why he's up there. Now, the other thing, he didn't go to the Blades game Wednesday. He was storming all over the province. Les Lazaruk, the voice of the Blades, called me yesterday and said he told DuPont to stay in Regina because the roads were so bad. And Les also thanked me. He said I brought a tear to his eye for saying on the air that every broadcast that he does calling Blades hockey is like his first. I said he's the Elton John of the WHL. When you see Elton John in concert, he sings Philadelphia Freedom like it's the first time he's ever sang it.
That's right.
Every song, Elton John stands up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, buddy, we heard it 8,000 times. You sang it 8 million. And Les is like, I really appreciated that you said that. And it's good. 24, 25 years in the Western Hockey League. Les Lazaruk. I couldn't do it. I get bored. After a decade and a half, 2 decades, I get bored. Les doesn't. That's a pro. Wayne goes on to say John Lynch is looking good this morning. It's because of his new shirt.
There you go.
Get around the mic. It's the Rod Pedersen Show shirt. There you go, Lynch. I was going to give you a hoodie, but I think you're more of a golf shirt guy. What's this?
Vanna White over here.
Vanna White, yeah. Can you get those crumbs off your shirt? It's driving me crazy.
You and my wife go crazy.
Me and your wife. Well, we think a lot alike, me and your wife. And can we put the comment on from Jack in Calgary again, please, if you don't mind, before we move on? Here's Jack in Calgary from Life Choice Dynamics, helping football players transition into life after football. Jack says CFL's issue has always been poor marketing. Now with the RP show, the CFL should be thanking Rod and the guys for doing their job and doing it well. CFL all year round. Thank you to the RP show. Thank you, Jack. Thank you to the CFL. And I think that's the one thing the CFL realized pretty early on was that I'm not going to make them look bad. We're going to say what we want to say, but we're still CFL fans. Call it as we see it, but they've been putting on the commissioner multiple times, putting on Scott Milanovich, the head coach. The CFL's put on a ton of guys this year, not to mention the member clubs. So I think we're a good thing for the CFL. I just don't get these columns, these media outlets that say, oh, we're only going to cover the CFL for 6 months. They're the problem, not the CFL. CFL's got news. They should be a year-round league, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. And last point of the rollout for Flooring Superstore here today. And Tyler, if you're around all morning, you want to come back for overtime? Okay.
Yeah, sure.
And then we'll bust your balls about the Patriots. In the car ride up here, which, Lynch, may I say, is the highlight of our week, you and me?
Yeah, that's right. It is.
We cover all the important topics in life.
That's right.
And he says to me, Saskatoon can support a CFL team. You don't think so, but I think it can. And I'm like, no, John, no. That was the old me. That was me taking the Rough Riders stance, which I always had to, because the Riders don't want to see another team in Saskatoon. Whether they're right or not, I don't know. Maybe it would be the best thing for the Rough Riders if a team went into Saskatoon. I don't know. Tyler, you're the business guy, not me. But if Saskatoon wants a CFL team, give it to them. I just said it's a living, breathing monster. It's supposed to be a 500,000 population by 2030, 2035.
Right.
So our poll question today will be for Capital Auto Mall, Universal Collision Center. Should Saskatoon be awarded a CFL franchise? Because I think Halifax, it's dead.
They blew it.
It's dead.
They blew it.
As my cowboy brother would say, Halifax is barking up a dead horse's ass. Don't blame me, blame my brother. He uses that phrase almost every day.
82% said no.
You put it up already? That was fast. Whoa. 81.6% say no. Say no. Should Saskatoon get a CFL team? Wow. Well, we got something to talk about for the rest of the day. 9.2% say yes. 9.2% say they don't know. And Tom Halleck, writing in from Winnipeg. He is the press box announcer at IG Field in Winnipeg, home of the Blue Bombers and the Bisons. He says Les Lazaruk's theme music ought to be "I'm Still Standing." Yeah. I love it. Les, now at the end of every Blades broadcast, he's going to stand up and go, Lynch, why should Saskatoon get a CFL team? Sell the world on it.
A great city. It's a great city. Really moving along well. Very aggressive. I can't believe the difference between it and it and Regina. When I go up there, I think I'm in Calgary or somewhere else. I just can't get over it.
It's big time.
I know that place from my business days, and it's always been ahead of Regina. And it's just a good sports town. Look what they're doing with the Rush. And they've got the Huskies.
Yep.
And they, a lot of players in the CFL have come from the Huskies, come from Saskatoon. They like football. There's no doubt about it. They could afford it. They could put it up there. They look all over Canada for a good, logical place to put a 10th franchise. It's so obvious. Saskatoon is the answer.
There you go. Lynch is selling it. Now, we got a lot of comments coming in. I knew this would be a hot button item. So we'll talk about this throughout the program. I know this, when the Riders have training camp in Saskatoon, which they've done every year since 2013, they don't want to leave Saskatoon. They don't. And they're like, why is the team not here? I'm like, we don't have time. When we come back, Don Jackson of the Calgary Stampeders will join us. It's a Football Friday on The Rod Pedersen Show. You're watching on Facebook Live and listen live at rodpedersen.com.
You're watching Rod Pedersen On Demand. For more of The Rod Pedersen Show, visit rodpedersen.com or follow Rod Pedersen on social media.